Hello, and welcome everybody. Like I said, if you're coming from one of the posts on social media, this is my first trial run. I just wanted to do a quick trial run and kind of give an overview of how the podcast is going to go, podcast, whatever you want to talk about, or whatever you want to call it, just how it's going to go. Just going to run a quick stream, 30 minutes to an hour, something like that. But I'm just ready to get this started. Kind of work out some of the kinks. That's kind of what a trial run is for. I know my banner's kind of crooked down there. I got to work on that. But I wanted to go ahead and do a trial run before I had a watch along for Super Bowl 53. I'm going to be live during the Super Bowl for the entire Super Bowl. Actually going to get on 30 minutes early. You can check out the schedule down below the video. You can find all the social medias down there as well. But I just want to do a trial run. I kind of give an overview how everything's going to go, or how I kind of want things to go. I don't want to drag along, carry everything on for too long. But this is Spittin Sports with Lamar. I am Casey Lamar, coming at you from the 256 Sports Desk. As you can tell, I've got the TV right there. I got my laptop to the right, so I can look at my notes. But so I'll just go ahead and get into it, how things are gonna go. So the first segment on most days, probably every day, is going to be in the news. So basically, in the news is just going to be specifically what's going on in sports. So today, the big headlines are, what do I got over here? You've got Anthony Davis with him wanting a trade, wanting out of New Orleans, wanting off the Pelicans. That's a big thing going on. Another big thing today is I call it the pity add to the All-Star Game rosters. Dwayne Wade and Dirk. I understand why. It's their last go around, their last hoorah. But I honestly don't think they're All-Star players, so I don't necessarily think they should be just put on the All-Star team. But I get why. It's their last hoorah, their last thing going on. The melodrama is still going on. He's been waived by the Bulls, opening up his way to free agency. They've been talking about the Lakers. No offense to him or his fans, I do think that Carmelo is a cancer. I don't think you can win a championship with him the way he wants the ball at this stage in his career. That's just me. I don't think he can do anything for you. He wants to take up a starting role, and he's not a starter anymore these days. Another big thing that comes out of basketball, Kyrie Irving. I know it's been talked about him re-signing with the Celtics at some point, but he said wait and ask him on July 1st. So that pretty much tells you where his mind is. The Celtics aren't guaranteed to get him back. He's going to go wherever he wants, which it should be that way, but it's going to come down to who's going to offer him the biggest dollar amount is what that's going to come down to. Another headline I see here is Gobert in tears over All-Star snub. Oh well, it happens. The biggest snub for me was Luka Doncic, however you want to say his name, from the Mavs. I don't know if it's because he's a rookie or whatever, but he's the best player on the Mavs. They're still hanging around right now for a playoff spot. They've still got a fighting chance, unlike the Bulls or the Cavaliers or the Suns, depending on which side you're talking about, which conference. That's really all what's going on, the top headlines. There's not really a lot going on. A lot of things pile up over the week. The biggest news of the week, I would say, is AD wanting out of New Orleans. He said it's about legacy. The money comes. He wants a championship, much like LeBron's move to Miami was about trying to win championships. And he did that. And then he went home and was fortunate enough to win one for the hometown. And now he's just kind of doing what he wants, which is play for the Lakers. I don't blame him. I said he was going to the Lakers. It was a perfect fit. Best player in the league, with the brightest spotlight in the league. and that is the Lakers. If they get AD, they have a fighting chance, but I still don't think anybody's touching the Warriors when it comes down to the playoffs. It's a totally different monster in the playoffs, which we've seen. They've lost the people. The Cavs lost the people. They went in as a 4 seed last year, and everybody's saying, "Oh my gosh, they're over with." Blah blah blah. LeBron still made it to the finals. It's a different monster once you get into the playoffs. It's just totally different. So that's pretty much in the news. I would like to go more in depth, but that's just, like I said, trial run. Just give a brief overview of how those things will go. Those will be more in depth as we go along. The next thing I wanted to do, let's talk about. Let's just talk about the NBA. If I talk specifically about a certain league, such as the NFL, Major League Baseball, National Basketball Association, it's going to be more about standings and who's playing that night, kind of thing. That's pretty much how that's going to go. So let's just go ahead and take a quick look at the NBA standings as we edge ever so close to the All-Star break here. So Milwaukee Bucks, I wouldn't say it's a surprise. It's a small surprise that they lead. They and the Raptors both have 37 wins apiece. The Raptors have played more games. They have more losses, so they're currently a game and a half back of of the Milwaukee Bucks. But it currently goes the Bucks, Raptors, 76ers have now jumped into third place. Indiana, they lost their best player in Victor Oladipo. Wish him the best moving forward. Hope he can get back on his feet. But they've slid to 4. I would say I'm gonna see them continue. I could see them continuing to slide. You got the Celtics. They're playing a little underwhelming right now for some of the players that they have and what they've built. If they could get AD, that would be phenomenal for them moving forward. But he wants to be a Laker. He's already said that. And that's pretty much that. He's already told everybody he's a 1-year rental, and then he's signing with LA. You got the Nets. Bit of a surprise. D'Angelo Russell. Like, nobody's talked about the Nets. I've heard nothing about the Nets. Honestly, I haven't heard much about anything because the basketball, it's just not my cup of tea for the most part right now. It's soft. And we all know what's going to happen when it comes down to when it counts the most. What's going to happen? The Warriors are probably going to run off and leave everybody. You got the Heat sticking in there, and Dwayne Wade's final go around. They're under 500. That's usually the case with the East. You get 1 or 2 teams under 500 in the playoffs. It's currently how it sits with the Heat at 7, and then you have the Charlotte Hornets at 8. Kemba Walker, he's phenomenal. Undersized, but the guy can just score the basketball. You can't deny that. He's great. It's fun watching Kemba Walker play because he can just score the basketball. Then you got Detroit on the outside looking in, 2 games behind the 8th spot. Hornets, the Wizards are currently 2.5 games back. They sit in the 10th spot. Orlando, and then you have a significant drop down to the Atlanta Hawks, the Chicago Bulls, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the New York Knicks. How could I forget the New York Knicks being a bottom feeder? Just traded Kristaps Porzingis. Forgot to mention that trade. Porzingis sent to the Mavs. They're the place for European white guys that are really good at basketball. Dirk's run is coming to an end, like we said before, and now they've got 2 guys to replace him. Look for good things to come out of the Mavs with those 2 once Porzingis gets back healthy. We'll move on to the Western Conference. No surprise, Golden State's number 1. Denver's been number 1 for much of the season, but they're now a half game back of the Golden State Warriors. You don't have to say anything. The Warriors, we know who they are, who they have, what they're probably going to end up doing again this season. The Nuggets, bit of a surprise there, 35-15. Definitely a playoff team. I didn't expect them to be as high as they are, but they are. They currently sit at the 2 seed. You have the Oklahoma City Thunder with basically the walking triple double, and Westbrook. It takes too many shots. Takes too many shots for me. They still got Paul George, still a great team. Steven Adams down low. The Thunder, good team, but like I've said, I don't think anybody's challenging the Warriors again this season. The way that they can just stack teams, the amount of money that teams have now to spend on those players. The Trailblazers, they sit at 4. The Spurs, much lower than many people think they would be, where they usually are. Rockets got off to a massively slow start this season, and excuse me, massively slow start. But the month of January, James Harden averaged over 40 points a game. He's on like a 40-something game 30-something game streak of 30-plus points, something ridiculous. He averaged over 40 points a game in the month of January. You got the Jazz at 7. They're moving on. You got the Clippers at 8. And then you have the Lakers on the outside looking in. I know LeBron just came back from his groin injury. And now they have the possibility of getting AD before the end of next week. We'll see. Yeah, always the trade deadline is always craziness in the NBA. So we'll see what happens with that. The Kings, that's a surprise for me. They're a young team. They got De'Aaron Fox. He is going to be a great point guard moving forward. I love De'Aaron Fox, speed, and just as a team, it's really surprising that the Kings are doing that well, because we've gotten used to them over the last 10 plus years being bottom feeders. The Timberwolves, they were expected to be a much better team this year. Rift with Jimmy Butler and everybody basically there. So Jimmy Butler got traded to the 76ers. Still a surprise that they're sunk that low to this point in the season. But then you got the Mavericks. They still have a shot at making the playoffs. The Pelicans, they still have a shot, but it's not gonna. That's not gonna happen with everything going down with Anthony Davis. You have the Memphis Grizzlies, 20 and 32, and then you have the ultimate bottom feeder in the West, the Phoenix Suns, where they seem to find themselves at every year here lately. It's been a long time for them finding success. They have Devin Booker, one of the great young players in the league, but it's been a real struggle bus for them here as of late. Excuse me. But we will move on to Super Bowl 53. This is what everybody's looking forward to these last couple weeks, getting to the Super Bowl. Again, tell me if you've heard this before. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are playing for another Super Bowl title. I don't know if I've ever heard that before. Let me know if you have. Tom Brady, the gift that keeps on giving, the never aging quarterback. He'll be 42 this year. It doesn't matter what his age is. He just keeps lighting everybody up. He threw for 4,300 yards, over 4,300 yards, 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions this season. Sony Michel, they really used Sony Michel in the run game. He had 900 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns, and Edelman ended up being the leading receiver on the season. 74 catches, 850 yards, 6 touchdowns. Gronk was in and out with injuries. James White, it wasn't it against the Chargers. He had 15 catches and no rushes in a game as a running back. It's a place we've seen the Patriots before, but you got Bill Belichick, old school, what we're used to hearing. Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, going up against the new crop, Jared Goff and Sean McVay. Sean McVay, 33 years old, just phenomenal. What he did as a first-year coach with somebody that everybody thought was a bust, and Jared Goff turned that around, put him in the right system, which is his system, Sean McVay's system, and it has been outrageous what they've been able to do. Todd Gurley, we know he's a beast, 1,200 yards, 17 touchdowns, and Robert Woods was the leading receiver this year for the Rams, over 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns on 86 catches. This game, it's the Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. I look forward to a great game here. The Super Bowl usually is. Everybody thought the Patriots were winning last year. The Eagles surprised them. Everybody thinks the Patriots are going to win this year. A lot of people think the Patriots are going to win this year. Not everybody. Uh, I myself do believe that the Patriots are going to win. The Patriots are the betting favorite, or they are the favorite according to Vegas. They're -2.5. The over/under for the game is 56.5 points. I do expect it to be an offensive showdown up and down the field, those kind of things. Uh, Points will be scored as they were last year. What was it, 40, 41-33, something like that. A lot of points scored, put on the board. The Patriots in their epic comeback 2 years ago against the Falcons put up a bunch of points. But I do believe the Patriots get this game won. I am picking the Patriots. That in no way has any bearing over who I'm gonna cheer for. I'm not necessarily cheering for everybody because I'm not a fan, or anybody, because I'm not a fan of either team. But I do believe the Patriots are gonna get the job done in a 42-38 football game. I don't think the Patriots need any field goals to beat the Rams this time. I think it's all touchdowns. I believe the Rams. It'll be tooth and nail all the way through, close all the way to the end.
All right.
So I believe it will be a very good game to watch. It'll be fun to watch. But I believe the Patriots and Tom Brady, much to the dismay of many casual football fans, they win ring number 6 on Sunday. That is my pick for that game. Ninth Super Bowl appearance. It doesn't matter whether you hate, like, indifferent. You can't deny the greatness of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. It's much like Alabama and Nick Saban. You can just guarantee that they're going to be there at the end of the season, or be in the hunt at the end of the season. But the Patriots, these last 5 or 6 years, they've basically made the Super Bowl every year. This year, last year, the year before, was it against the Seahawks? The year before that, it's mind-boggling. Nick Saban, Alabama is one thing in college football, but to do it at the professional level, year in and year out, for the last 18 years, has been absolutely ridiculous. You can't deny the greatness of either team. People want to bring up Brady and Deflategate. That game was a 42-10 football game. I don't think the football made that much a difference in that one when the Colts couldn't even score. But like I said, I believe the Patriots are going to win that football game, 42-38 on Sunday. And like I've said, I will be having a watch-along party, if you want to call it that. I will have a Super Bowl watch-along. I'll go live roughly at 5 o'clock Central. I am Central Time. 5 o'clock Central. You can check the schedule down below. It has a countdown right up until I'm going to go live. But I believe I am going to go live at 5. Game starts at 5:30, and I will just have a watch-along with you all. Anybody that wants to join in, wants to watch it, come right here to the Twitch page and watch live with me. We can react together. You can chat in the chat. I'll respond, and we can chat it up and just react together as we watch the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 53, between the New England Patriots and the Los Angeles Rams. But like I was saying before, Sean McVay, I believe it's coming. The Super Bowl will be coming to LA. Super Bowl championship will be coming to LA with Goff and McVay at some point, but I don't believe it's this year. And the AFC pretty much has to wait to get a different team in, and once Tom Brady retires. That's pretty much the way that looks to me at this point. They're going to have to wait for Tom Brady to retire for somebody else to get a chance, unfortunately. And then the Rams, a lot of people predicted them to be here, but it seems like the NFC is rotating. There's teams coming in all the time, a different team almost every year, but it seems to always come down to playing the Patriots. Seattle played the Patriots. Philadelphia played the Patriots. Atlanta played the Patriots. It would have been interesting to see, just off topic of the Super Bowl. Well, it's kind of on topic, but it would have been interesting to see Atlanta make it this far. I would have loved to have seen Atlanta play a Super Bowl in their own stadium. That would have been hilarious. That would have been an amazing thing to see. It's a home game at that point. for the Atlanta Falcons. Um, it just would have been an interesting thing to see. But of course, we have Maroon 5, Travis Scott, and Big Boy from Outkast doing the halftime show. I'm not as big on the halftime shows. I'm more about the football game. And then the commercials. I always enjoy I always enjoy the Super Bowl commercials. Those are always interesting. But I'm more worried about the football game. That's all I care about seeing. No, Coors Light is not an ad, just so you know. I just enjoy a nice cold brew sometimes, and it happens to be Coors Light tonight. But I guess that's all I want to say about the Super Bowl for now. That's where I'll leave that. Like I said, I will have one last time. I will say I'm gonna have a watch along. Come join in, react live with me, chat it up, and let's just have a fun time on Sunday. Come join in on the fun. Watch with me, so I'm not alone. No, I'm just doing it because I want to, and it would just be fun to just have live reaction. That's why I'm doing it. That's where I'll leave the Super Bowl for now. But no, the next weekend after the Super Bowl, the AAF starts. I don't know if anybody has paid any attention to that, but the American Alliance of Football, I believe it's called. 8 teams. It's more of a developmental league. From is basically what I get out of it. Developmental league for the NFL for players that are just on the cusp, but just not above. They're right there, but they can't overstep that. Because I've read in there they can be pulled up at any time. NFL team wants to sign them, they can leave their AAF team and go join in right away. But here, let me see. Let me pull that up. Let me pull up the AAF. I forget where all the teams are from. There's one right here in my home state of Alabama, the Birmingham Iron. But let's just go to their website and look at their teams. If it wants to load for me. Teams. Okay, so you have the Arizona Hotshots, the Atlanta Legends, the Birmingham Iron, the Memphis Express, the Orlando Apollos, the Salt Lake Stallions, the San Antonio Commanders, and the San Diego Fleet. It's just interesting. In my honest opinion, I think this league is going to blow the XFL out of the water. Mainly, one, they're a year ahead, and two, it doesn't get the persona of being a WWE style event. You know what I'm saying? Because the XFL is ran by Vince McMahon, the CEO of the WWE. So I think that kind of might give it sort of a bad rap. I don't think it is. I understand it. Some cool things came from the XFL the first time. The names. Everybody remembers He Hate Me. But they also had a lot of flaws. Scheduling conflicts, just numerous things. Generators going off in the middle of a live game with the biggest audience they had. But no, the Arizona Hotshots, if anybody remembers Rick Neuheisel, coach UCLA at one point, I believe that's that Rick Neuheisel. That's about the only one I know. But he is the head coach of the Arizona Hotshots. Let's keep going here. Nope, that's not what I want to. Give me the teams. The Atlanta Legends. I forget who they have here. Roster. Kevin Coyle. But Michael Vick, the big thing for the Atlanta Legends, Michael Vick is the offensive coordinator. I'm ready to see how Michael Vick calls the game as a coordinator. It wouldn't surprise me if he runs out on the field and starts running circles around everybody, because I bet he can still run his legs off. Tim Lewis is the head coach of the Birmingham Iron. The Memphis Express, I believe that is Mike Singletary. Yes, Mike Singletary is the head coach there. Everybody remembers his stint with the 49ers, and when he ran Vernon Davis off the sideline, sent Vernon Davis crying to the locker room during the middle of a game, and he had that famous speech about players wanting to play as individuals. Um, you got the Orlando Apollos, Steve Spurrier. If you don't know who Steve Spurrier is, then you're not a football fan. That's pretty much how I'm going to put that. The Salt Lake Stallions, Dennis Erickson is the head coach there. Surprised he's still in football. But he is the head coach of the Salt Lake Stallions. San Antonio Commanders, I wanted to say Commodores. They're coached by Mike Riley. And our final team here, the San Diego Fleet. My computer wants to work right. Is Mike Martz. But the AAF does start the week after the Super Bowl. Games will be covered on CBS Sports and CBS. They have 2 games every Saturday and every Sunday for 10 weeks. I believe they play 10 games. Or 8 games. There's 8 teams. I believe they play 10 games, though. But the top 2 teams from each league or each side make the playoffs. They play each other, and then the winner of those games play each other for the AAF championship, whatever that may be. But you'll see a lot of names. Each player that played in a certain region in college is designated to that team. So Trent Richardson has to go play for the Birmingham Iron if he wants to be in this league. Blake Sims played quarterback at Alabama. He has to go to the Birmingham Iron. It's really weird. NFL teams that they might have been with plays a role in it. It's really in depth, but they're trying to use the notoriety of those players from their college days to help draw a crowd. Trent Richardson, that's going to draw a crowd because of all the stuff that he went through. Number 3 pick, had a great rookie year, and absolutely fell off the wagon. Received domestic violence charges at one point, lost all his money, went to the CFL, didn't make it in the CFL, but now he's going to be back on a football field come next weekend, the 10th, next Sunday. Not this upcoming Sunday of the Super Bowl, but the next, obviously, the 10th. You get to see Trent Richardson play on a football field again. Me being from Alabama, Blake Sims. I was actually in school at the same time Blake Sims was the quarterback. Chris Davis, the guy that returned the kick 6 for Auburn, he is on the Birmingham Iron. So there's a lot of names that you're going to recognize from these teams. Trevor Knight, he's on Arizona. The quarterback is the only thing. That's the only thing. Quarterbacks are drafted. Those are the only things that aren't regionally binding. Quarterbacks are drafted totally separate. They can go to any team. Any team can draft them. Like I said, the rules are really in depth. It's something that you really need to read up on. Aaron Murray, one of the most prolific passers in SEC history, he's on the Atlanta Legends roster. Birmingham Iron, like I mentioned. Trent Richardson. Ladarius Perkins, a former running back at Mississippi State. Quan Bray, a wide receiver that played at Auburn. Just some of the people. A bunch of Bama players there. I think there's like 11 Alabama players, 10 Alabama players on the Iron. There's 5 Auburn players. Cole Mazza used to be a long snapper at Alabama. Actually had some classes with him. Memphis. Who does Memphis have? They have Zach Mettenberger. He was on the Titans roster. So, him playing at LSU might play regionally into that. I'm not really sure how they break that up. Christian Hackenberg played at Penn State. Remember him with the Jets not too long ago. Zach Stacy, huge running back for Vanderbilt. One of the best that they ever had. He did get some time with the Rams in the NFL, but now he is obviously out of football. But he's back into football now with the Memphis Express. Orlando, let's check out a few of their players. Garrett Gilbert played at SMU. I remember Garrett Gilbert when he played against Alabama in the national title game. Almost led Texas to a comeback, but fell just short. He is the quarterback on Orlando. But I think the big appealing thing for Orlando is Steve Spurrier. Everybody wants to see Steve Spurrier as a coach, coaching on the sidelines. Matt Asiata, I remember him playing with the Vikings. He's on the Salt Lake Stallions. Kenny Bell played for Nebraska, wide receiver, not to be confused with the Kenny Bell from Alabama. This Kenny Bell had a fro that a baby could land on if you dropped it. Had an absolute crazy head of hair. That's pretty much it for Salt Lake. Nope, wrong button. San Antonio. Greg Ward Jr. played quarterback for Houston. He is a wide receiver on the San Antonio team. Again, played for Houston. Like I said, more regionally based. This league is. Try to pull in people. And who does San Diego have? They don't have anybody too well known, I guess you could say, on their team there. But that'll be interesting to see. But I'll leave that alone for now. How come the chat box isn't working? Oh well. It's on now. But like I said, I guess I'll go ahead and close this off. This was a trial run. I just wanted to, kind of get it out of my system, get one stream under my belt, just to kind of see how it'll go. But this was just a quick put together. Like I said, Monday, and it'll be scheduled in the countdown schedule below. But Monday and Fridays will be the days for regular timed streams. 10 a.m. on Mondays and Fridays. And I'm guaranteeing at least an hour. So I'll take notes. I'll pay attention to what's going on in the sports world. So I have content to talk about with you all. Should you choose to come join me. But I'm guaranteeing at least an hour on those days. Like I said before, it could last longer than that, depending on how active everybody is and what's going on. And then special events like the Super Bowl or the NFL Draft or certain things like that, I will probably live stream during those. Definitely the first round of the NFL Draft, I believe. I'll be right here, live reaction, talking about what's going on with you all. And just kind of giving my reaction. Hopefully you give yours. But one more recap. Actually, I did want to say, these entire streams will be posted on YouTube as well. So if you missed this or you missed something I said, I'm going to post that on YouTube, the entire stream. And then on most days, I will take that and I'll break it down into segments about what I talked about. I'm not going to do it with this one, like I said, because it's just I just wanted to get on here, talk for a minute, kind of show how things are going to move along throughout the stream. But this one, it will be posted. I will post it on YouTube. But most streams I will go back and I will break those down into segments about what I talk about. So you don't have to sit here for this one is at 35 minutes. You don't have to sit through a full 35 minutes. You can just go through that 10-minute section or 10-minute segment of what I talked about and listen to that instead of listening to me babble on about something you don't want to listen to or hear about. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do that on most normal streams, not this one. The Super Bowl, I will go back. I will cut up my live reactions to what's happening in the game, how I reacted, so we can see the real-time reactions, just because that'll be fun. I will post that, a stream reaction, real-time reaction highlight video, whatever you want to say, to the game. So you don't have to watch all 4.5 hours of that, because, geez, you don't want to do that. I wouldn't do that unless you're here with me. But I will post those as well. But this will be a joint effort. I will talk live on Twitch. I'll upload it on YouTube if you'd rather watch it there. Those kind of things. But like I said, one more recap. Just in the news will pretty much be how I started out. The big stuff going on. NBA. Baseball is coming up. So I'll have plenty to talk about with baseball. But NBA is going on, so I will kind of go over the standings, where they look, maybe games going on that night, maybe if a game happened the night before, things like that. Super Bowl. This is a one-time thing here, and that was not centered the right way. But Super Bowl, a one-time thing, obviously, but that'll be this Sunday. I will add a scoreboard onto this picture and update it live as we watch the game. So there's that. NFL, it is done. This won't be a part of any streams for the foreseeable future, because anything happening in the NFL will be part of in the news. But the NFL, I do have it on here right now, but that'll soon be the MLB baseball starting up. But I just, like I said, just wanted to do a quick stream. I hope you guys want to join in. Also, I have a screen display, so if I ever want to show a video or we ever want to watch a video together, I do have that, a display capture, so we can watch a video if we would like to do that. Actually, I will go ahead and pull something up right now. It's not a video, but I will pull this up. So we'll just go to my channel. It's not showing it. Oh, because I turned it off. No, because I have it on the wrong monitor. That's why. Yeah, real smart, Casey. Real smart, Lamar, whatever you want to say. But yeah, that's how that'll work. I can't show anything of the Super Bowl, obviously. I'm not allowed to do that. So it'll just be my reactions here, and I'll talk about what happens. But we got Spittin Sports Inception going on right now, right here, as you can see through the camera. But I've got the TV, and I got the laptop, which you've probably seen me looking at. I got the laptop right there with all my notes. That's where I'm looking everything up. But new to me, just something I want to do. I love sports. I hope you guys that all love sports want to join in with me. Like I said, at least twice a week, special events, Super Bowl, draft, those kind of things. That's just what's on my mind. Since football, it's playing out. Maybe something with the All-Star weekend with the NBA, even though I'm not the biggest fan of that stuff. The dunk contest, 3 points, those are always fun. Not a big fan of the All-Star games, of any All-Star games, honestly. Baseball is the only one that offers any kind of incentive towards the team that wins. But this year, the NBA changed it up. They are having team captains. They draft their players. They get the draft from the starters. They get the draft from the reserves. And then they get the draft from Dirk and Dwayne Wade. But I pretty much believe that's where I want to leave it. I will go ahead and close the display capture. But that's the trial run for the Spittin Sports. For the Spittin Sports with Lamar live podcast trial. For anybody that came and checked it out, thank you. Drop a follow. I look forward to being able to do more of this in the future, but I really look forward to Sunday. I hope more of you come join me so we can get it a little bit more energetic, flowing, whatever word you want to call it. But just all in good fun. Watch the Super Bowl, live react. But that is where I will leave this one. This has been Spittin Sports with Lamar from right here at the 256 Sports Desk. I need to fix that banner. It looks kind of wonky. But I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. Please come join. It'll be a lot of fun. I'll see y'all later.